My name is Tina Bird. This is the oral presentation number 1, outline and script. The assignment is, how did the need for steady supply of water affect the technological, economic, political, and legal development of ancient societies? My name is Tina Bird, and I'm doing this oral presentation for my ancient history class at Florida Southern College. I have read the passage, the need for water in ancient societies, and developed this oral presentation to answer the question, how did the need for steady supply of water affect the technological, economical, political, and legal development of ancient societies? I've developed a thesis and complete answers with support details directly from the passage to present during the video. Cities have different ways to achieve their irrigation systems depending on the water's behavior. For example, the Tigris and Euphrates River flowed rapidly, creating a challenge to capture the water easily. Each civilization also had its own set of challenges to capture their water easily. Each civilization also had its own set of spoken or written laws to abide by. Surprisingly, laws for water were created before laws of land. Archaeological evidence points to the technological advancements made in these ancient societies, such as the great water moving machines. Alongside the laws and technological improvements, economic and political problematic situations also developed. However, the ancient cities created new laws and technology to help their cities flourish and conquer their uprising problems. Water was an influential tool that shaped the outcomes of ancient societies by increasing needs for workers, problem solving, new laws, and even competition. The crucial need for water grew with the civilization. Most of the ancient civilization was created around bodies of water, increasing their ability to flourish. The technological claim, the need for the technological development sparked inspiration and resulted in many ahead of their own time inventions, while also creating a plethora of problems to create said machines. A few of the machines included the Shadroth, the Sequila, and Honoria, and square pallet chain pump, also created to help with the task of acquiring and transporting water. The supporting idea for that, to start with one of the technological problems, specialized people were needed to create and run the machines and make diversity fall. With the specific need for certain intel to run machines, such as the Segura, people without the intel could not be employed to run the machines. They allowed only certain few members of the society to have a job running water machines. Source 4 includes an illustration of the Shaduf and a man using the machine. However, the man operating the machine is likely the owner or a technician for that machine. Supporting idea number 2 was initially the new machines and new canals and ditches were created amazing and made work so easy for the farmer, although the machines quickly turned to a burden requiring many materials not available to just anyone. There wasn't enough material or money available to build machines to create canals. Also, the canals were great ideas, but with a great idea came an enormous number of problems following that. The problems were serious situations, not just small problems. Supporting idea number 3, while the technological aspect that came along with the need of water created problems, it also created the spread and diversification of ideas from Mesopotamia to Egypt. According to the passage, many of the irrigation ideas developed in Mesopotamia spread to Egypt. The Egyptian created waterways and water moving machines, just like Mesopotamia and many other civilizations. The need for water brought people together in ancient times to share ideas and technology. Supporting idea number 4, some of the machines created thousands of years ago are still used today. The technological standpoint from thousands of years ago is absolutely incredible. For some of these machines to be still in use today shows how the need for water absolutely sparked a crazy need for technological improvements, maybe even some ahead of their time machines, such as the Noria. The economic part of the need created economic problems increased with the technological and legal developments, while the demand for water and cheaper equipment also increased rapidly. More water means more people, which means more demands. The safety had to increase with machine use. The use of water divided into many ways. People were thriving in these civilizations, etc. Supporting idea number 1 for that is many people cannot afford the equipment nor the journey to create machines or even dig canals. In the illustration on page 10, it shows the emperor using a hoe to help dig. Obviously, we know the emperor would not be digging or doing hard labor, but the picture explains something further upon analysis. From the illustration, the viewer would realize the emperor would have to pay for materials to dig canals and make water pathways. A simple civilization would have nowhere near enough to create a canal, more or less a machine. Supporting idea number 2, the amount of work coming from machine operatives decreased due to machines becoming self-sustaining. The illustration on page 11 of the article shows them in a chronological order. Due to this, you can visually see the source 7, how the machine no longer uses a man alongside the machine. It changes. The Noria was built by man, but does not need a man to operate it. The water wheel uses the force from the water to run itself and loses the need for a human, which means a loss of employment also. Not only did the machines need specific intel to operate, now they do not need anyone at all. The political and legal aspect of it, government authorities were needed to appoint special officials and create laws to mandate order in and around the water consumption. There were direct punishments for not following rules and laws due to the extensive demand for water. The government had to create laws to establish legally and abolish the chaos. The supporting idea number 1 for that was specific water rights were put into place and had punishable results if not followed. For example, if a man neglects his dike and it fails to obtain its duties, the man must pay for all the grain damaged. If a man cannot pay for the damaged grain, the man will be sold along with the land and the dividends will be split. Due to the rules, legal and legal and political problems started to fade, and people were allowed to create canals and use machines within certain limits. The supporting idea number 2, people also had to request for private consumption of water, which would be decided by the emperor. Certain rules and regulations would be put into play and must be followed, or a warning to revoke private consumption would be received. In Frontius' discussion of Rome's water system, specific examples of how the laws were broken are presented. He explains how in some reservoirs I have found larger values in position that have been granted. The official stamp was also absent on the values. The water was being stolen and taken advantage of, and all those who were caught have been punished. Supporting idea number 3, the Prince of Han tricked the King of Shannon to create a canal more than 100 miles long. This would distract the king from expanding east and making attacks on Han. Han. This was a political role invested in the expansion and need for water. Water was actually used as a weapon, sort of, to occupy time for civilization. To wrap it all up, all life cannot flourish and live without water, it is much bigger than what we see on the surface. There's a circle of life type of continuization that goes along with developing and retrieving water. Ancient civilization could not prosper without water, creating many technological, economical, legal, and political developments and advancements taking place within them. The people of the societies like Mesopotamia could not live in such close proximity without an abundance of food and water as a direct source from irrigation. On the other hand, irrigation could not be maintained and developed without large civilization. Like Mesopotamia, ancient civilization developed laws, machines, and irrigation systems to sustain their life and allow their circles to grow and flourish. And that's all.